We got a heck of a wooer in the crowd today. It's Kevin Kenny. This is the Build Series live from New York City. Our guest today is in the midst, if you will, of a massive 48-city summer tour. They also have a heck of a brand new album out called Blessings. Please, let's give it up for Sublime with Rome.
Hello.
What's up? These guys are psyched to see you, man. I was saying at the top, we got some heck of wooers in the crowd today for you guys.
New York's always been amazing for us. We love this place.
What's your first memory of playing in New York?
First memory ever playing New York was actually not playing New York. It was the about 2 hours before, or maybe 4 hours before our stage. And it was the first time that I'd ever been to New York. And it was our first tour ever. And so we hadn't gone on tour, so I hadn't made any money yet. I was really poor. And Eric was like, yo, do you want to go out and go shopping? And I was like, I'm down. I don't have any money though.
We got some diamond jewelry and stuff,
dude.
You know.
He's like, no, you're like,
that's divas like to wear. You know.
He's like, you're working right now. You can actually get some money advance from it. And I was like, what? So I was like, all right, let me get $200. And they were like, all right. And then we went shopping. We bought like sneakers at Flight Club.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's the very first memory I kind of.
So Eric giving you game first time out. That's
seriously.
Yeah.
Schooling me.
In New York, Soho meant something different.
I want to get into this album really quick because when I think of you guys, the first thing that, among other things, comes to mind is community. I think of almost like your fans as one and the same with the music that you guys make. So it made all the sense in the world when I read that this album was sort of meant to be a thank you to your fans and thank you to the community that is the fans of Sublime with Rome.
Dude, our Lord the Sun, dude.
Yeah?
The almighty sun shining bright on us.
Yep.
Brings us light and nutrition every day. No, but you know what? To be honest, it's been, believe it or not, it's been 10 years since we've played.
Thank you to you.
Yeah.
To me?
Yeah.
I thought I heard that.
To you specifically.
Because you're my son. Did you know that?
That's why we're here,
Mom.
actually.
We are here to break the news, dog.
Are we on Maury right now? No, I just didn't know.
Some other cameras back here.
You gotta let us bring the paternity test
You
out
are
first, man.
the father. No, it's just been it's been a crazy circus. 10 years is really hard for I think a lot of bands or musicians to even just be able to do it, for a living. And we've been through so much and around the world and met so many fans, and the community has grown exponentially even since we've been touring. And
all the way to Mexico.
Dude,
Tijuana.
Yeah. TJ to Guam, Japan. We played it for Japanese Rastas with blonde dreadlocks.
It's been a ride, man.
Dude, it's been awesome, and that's what the album's pretty much about. It's just the 10-year recap of all of it.
Well, let's go back 10 years, right? I mean, Rome, your story is very well documented. You grew up loving Sublime through a lot of hard work and a little bit of luck. You want to be in the lead singer of this.
A lot of luck.
A lot of luck.
Carlos.
Right. Well, what were your guys' first impression of Rome over here? Because I know that we know a lot about your backstory leading to the band, but
Me and Rome were together for a while.
don't forget the mic, Eric.
I mean, not sexually, but and we had Josh Freeze, great drummer, awesome dude, but he's a busy guy.
Yeah.
So we took 6 years of his life, and it probably took a lot off his life. But
6 years for 15?
Sorry, Josh. But during that time, a band he was in at the time was called Tribal Seeds, and we were touring together. And Josh never says anything good about other drummers because he's good, great or whatever. He's actually a drum machine. But and we were watching this guy play, and he goes, "That guy can hit the drums." And I'm like, "I know that." And next you know it, he's trying out for the band, and I knew he was going to get the job, and here we are.
Well, dude, it's Carlos. Talk to me about that tryout, man. What was that? How do they try out for the band?
Oh,
He came over to my house,
yeah.
and we did a couple practices first and make sure it had, it was going to happen. It would have happened anyways, because your guy didn't even practice at all,
Wait, you had a contender in the race?
Well, I mean, he's a mutual friend.
Okay.
Buddies, yeah.
Okay.
He's a really awesome
Your guy lost, it sounds like.
well, not really. He's drumming for another really famous
Okay.
artist now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much what
We
it
can all
is.
agree with that.
It just
But
it
it's all about feel, man.
awesome,
like
man.
at the end of the day, like even beyond like connection,
Jobs, you know.
Right.
but it's all about feel though. And honestly, like and he'll say the same thing. Like if it didn't feel good, like
Yeah.
at that day, what would he be like? Oh, dude, we got to use this drummer. Like, well, it doesn't feel good.
Totally.
Well, we got to use him anyway. Like, no way, he wouldn't do that. So it's
Yeah.
like,
An interpreter, man. He's fluent.
yeah, he's fluent Spanish right here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Mexican, he can't speak.
I can't speak no Spanish except for all the bad words.
Yeah. Exactly.
But you know what? Luckily, it ain't about just the language. You know, it's also about culture and pride, and you know, so just like the band has, rich with the California culture. You know,
Totally.
He started like the whole skate, surf, ska, like no effects and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
so.
Dude, well, I mean, I just saw Warped is celebrating their 25th anniversary.
Smart.
You guys were on the first ever Warped tour. I think you were the first ever headliner, no?
Very first war tour.
Yeah. I mean, how many memories, if any, do you have of that tour?
I had a lot of memories, but you know.
Can't remember. They were fun.
It was a time in my life. You know, that was the only tour that Brad ever toured on a bus. All of the years before that, we toured any hoopty, piece of beep that you could figure. And we used to ran a U-Haul trailer under someone else's name, ran it for 2 days, and come back.
Drake Bell right there, ladies and gentlemen.
And drop it off around the corner, And,
Yeah.
And then Brad had one bus tour, and we were sharing it with a Satanic. The rest is like cool, but they were Satanic though.
You were sharing with a
They
satanic
didn't wash their
band.
clothes either.
Satanic Cult.
Those in that bus.
Was this a band on the tour? Did you pick up a satanic cult like along the way? Were they hitchhiking?
No,
They acquired one and then dished them for the beach.
Our manager had all his bands. Turns out, I'm not going to say any names, but turns out one of the band's guitar players was their satanic priest. And
What?
I'm not joking,
I wanna
dude.
know
That is
this
gnarly.
so
Yeah.
bad.
Oh, he's
Not
never even
good.
told you.
I
this
bullshit
is the
all
first
day
time I've heard
long.
the story.
but not right now. And we had to share a bus with these guys. And they were named 9mm.
That's amazing.
Well, shout out to 9mm
And
for that one tour.
and they wouldn't wash their stage clothes. They would just throw them in a bag or in their bunk, and it stunk.
It's a shame.
Yeah, it must
You
have
don't
smelled
do that.
great, huh?
That's road etiquette.
Yes.
You don't do that.
Right. Something tells me the Warp
It was
25 is a
great
little
time,
bit
and
different.
We got
this
kicked
year.
off
That's
it.
a really good idea.
Yeah, right.
You know, like it's probably really expensive to take that Warped Tour all throughout every state and city
Oh,
in the
yeah.
United States. So just,
Yeah,
put
the
like 4 a
hygiene
year.
went up real
Yeah.
high this year.
Kevin Lyme still loves us,
Kevin Lyman
I was gonna
is
say, did Lyman
pumping
get you the
hard.
bus? Is that who hooked you up with the
He's the
bus?
one that kicked us off the tour.
Oh.
Good reason. Like Bud and Brad were fist fighting in front of our bus like almost every day, and
Louis was
and
biting
then
everyone.
and then Louis, Brad's dog, was biting all the pro skaters, and that was that,
That's crazy.
And they took us on back when we were up near Washington, on the West Coast because they needed the ticket sales.
Yeah, exactly.
And we did that without any radio or nothing. It was out of the trunk, our crowd.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Rob Cavallo did like almost the whole record, right?
Yeah.
Basically, there was like Goldstein did like half of it, like
Yeah,
co
I mean,
collabs
we-
on a track.
So there were a couple of records where
I don't know. Doug
We
did
like
a lot
work,
of it
but-
too,
Rob Cavallo and Doug McKean, they were like the people that really produced and engineered the album. And I mean, anything that you hear on the album was tracked by them. And
Okay.
that's like, yeah, like Rob's like a
GG
legend.
Allen ain't here.
Yeah, good thing.
I mean,
100%.
I wanted to ask you guys just the approach of working with basically one or two of the same producers the whole way through, as opposed to maybe doing like a different producer on a bunch of different songs, right? How does
Yeah.
that lend itself to a record?
Cohesion.
Yeah.
It 100% makes
And
everything
rapport,
just-
right? I'd imagine.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of the songs were written too before we went into the studio. I think all of them really. And so that just leads us to go to the studio and just focus on the sonics. And Rob and Doug, the guys who produced the album, like they don't play games with the sonics. Like they got tricks and stuff that they've done to sell over 120 million albums. So
Yeah.
it was really cool to work with someone like that, who's just, no, play the guitar again. Nah, I didn't have the feel. Play it again. Play it again. It's like, what? It's the same. It's just a skank.
And they got to be tapped into the feel as well. You know what I mean? That's a really
Yeah.
important factor too.
You know, they get rock.
Yeah.
You know, they get rock, and then I think in a land of like a lot of computer music, they are able to kind of mold it to.
I was very impressed of the mix that they came out with for being a rock and roll, like, what do you call it? Like, new punk or what?
Yeah.
Like today's punk stuff for us, because like years ago we recorded with Epitaph and Bad Religion, and they buried the bass. You
Yeah.
know? And so then,
Can't bury the bass in Sublime.
yeah, and you can't do that. So like, the guy went out for lunch, and we made a quick mix, turned the bass up, and then we split. And that's the reason why we called the album Robin the Hood, because that's how we did everything on the whole album. Everything was free.
Right. Right. we got 311 stopping by later today, and I heard in an interview they were saying that they now think of themselves as almost like a touring first band, first and foremost. Carlos, how do you think of Sublime with Rome today? Like in terms of like, do you guys think are albums still incredibly important? Of course, this is off to a really hot start, but
This album is really exciting for us because it's really exciting for me because we're starting to
We
play.
become a family, you know,
Yeah, we're
from this last album.
we're starting to. We spent a lot of time recording the album together and touring and stuff, and so it feels really good to play
Every
these
show
songs
sounds
live.
better.
Yeah.
And every show is funner.
what's led to that family feeling after this record?
Like we're a music band first, though.
Yeah.
Like for anything, like we wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for the music,
Right.
and the sound.
Yeah.
So it's like, and touring is the byproduct of that.
Okay.
But I would say that it revolves around the music for us.
Yeah.
More so than like the touring and the dates and everything. Like that's the given.
About
You
being
know.
on the road and feeling that you're at home when you're on the road.
Yeah.
And you guys
Otherwise,
do.
you're just going to count the
Oh, yeah,
hours
dude.
you're in jail or something, you know?
I got
Yeah.
my wife and kid. Like he's got his dog and his son
We're
comes
all
out.
this right now.
Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This-
Really?
This
It's
tour
rad.
has flown by. We've been on the road for over a month, and it's felt just like
It's
that.
like been
you know?
2 weeks or
All
something.
the bands get along and shit. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
That's
it almost like
never
summer
happened.
camp? It's kind of cliche to say,
Dude, it
right?
is.
But is it a
We
little
even
bit
have
like
a grill.
Yeah.
Like, we were like sponsored by Traeger.
You even have a grill.
We got a grill and we're barbecuing like every night because it's like, I don't know, like the camaraderie amongst all the bands is there. And that's kind of difficult to do on a tour where there's so many different clashing personalities.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, before it was all kind of just turmoil, like talking shit on someone else or whatever, you know? But this tour, it's all love, man. And that's what, you know, life is all about, you know?
Yeah. That's all. And that's got to
You know,
translate to
without
the
that,
set.
you got nothing, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
It's been great.
set to the album. I mean, it's
Word.
like a whole,
Totally.
it's just a whole feeling now
Yeah.
that I think is just really kind of surfaced.
You know what I want to ask you about, man, is we had Adam Lambert on the show recently, and you know that's a guy like you, right, taking over for a legendary frontman. And we talked, he and I did, about just the fine line, and it must just be the finest of lines between not trying to be a tribute act, right?
Yeah.
And then but also doing your own thing while paying respects to the legacy of an act like Sublime. So how did you navigate that early on? Of course, now I think you've totally mastered it, but really early on, like how do you find yourself in that role?
Dude, it was honestly just fandom. Like,
Dude, this is honestly Sublime, okay?
Right.
That's all there is to it. This motherfucker writes some fucking really good songs, and I mean, fucking awesome songs, and I can't wait to play those songs throughout the set every day, and that's my favorite part of the set is playing on new shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
dude, I don't know. It's just like I grew up worshiping the band.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just like I know Stand By Your Van, the live album, just as well as I know like the soft title, just from being a fan. So I knew how Brad, from listening so much, I like knew how Brad would play him live.
It's,
And
you, it's not Brad.
but it was, but it was like the feeling of what started that
Fill
whole thing.
no shoes.
Right.
You know, you can't fill Brad's shoes. I mean, no one can.
No one can.
Yeah?
But
No, totally.
You can't fill his either.
Yeah. Absolutely.
size 12, I'm sure someone.
No, but yeah, I would actually probably argue as a fan that because you were so familiar with the previous bodies of work that you did have sort of the luxury or the liberty to make it your own, right? Because you had such a deep understanding of what it was before that you could then take it in a totally.
Well, dude, what music's all about is taking the best influences that
Yeah.
you do,
Recycling.
yours.
Totally.
Like that
Recycling.
from day one.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all we're doing. You know
Still,
having a good time.
every single day, even songs for the new album, it's just listening to things that I love
Right.
and then recycling them into just things that I would, like you see something that you are like enamored by and you're like, I'm gonna go home and paint that picture. I promise you, it's 150% certainty that it will not be the same photo or the same painting. It will have its differences.
Yeah.
And
The easy thing for
it.
us back in the day and now is just putting all the kind because we like a lot of types of music, right?
all different kinds of shit between us three.
Put it in one song, and it sounds listenable. Then you're doing the right thing. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I don't know how we do it. It's just fun.
Yeah. Well, it's all about the essence, right? It's capturing the essence of things you love, as opposed to just trying to copy it or trying to
I
rip it or
agree.
trying to bite it.
Keeping the integrity.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you guys play Adam Levine's wedding, by the way? Did I read that?
Adam Lee's he's our bro.
Oh, yeah?
We play for free,
like
but he
everything.
flies his private jet though.
So it works out. He's like, we'll pay for all the stay and we'll just pay for travel, but you got to come to jet for free.
Was it-
We're like,
was
hell
it-
yeah.
was
We
it his
played
wedding? His birthday
40th,
party?
For Hottie's
Doing our
birthday.
band,
like,
but we said it probably wasn't a good idea. You know, he should
Yeah.
stay
We're-
with that. You know,
we're making him a jacket right now
Fine.
so he can have the same punk rock jackets. I don't know if you guys have a picture of that, but yeah.
Well, dude, you know what's so funny about him is like people know him as part of this like big pop act now with Maroon 5 and just what their music sounds like. But if you go back to and the name's escaping me, but he was in a band in the late '90s and it sounds like Pearl Jam. Like his vocal delivery is very Eddie. It's funny. Like
Dude,
his-
He's a
down to
rocker,
earth,
man.
He's cool as hell.
oh yeah,
and just because he's a billionaire, you know, he's still level-headed. You know.
yeah,
And I think a lot to do with him knowing us now is from his wife that now
Yeah.
we played their marriage, but they were both like huge Sublime fans,
that's awesome.
and that's how we became friends with him and stuff like that.
Yeah,
They're good people. Like, like him and a lot of the other dudes in his band, they're just like musicians first and foremost.
Yeah.
And then like everything else, is just like good fortune, like TV and all that. But he's a punker,
yeah,
Yeah, I remember him talking about at the wedding how shitty he was in school. Well, likewise, most punk rockers are, or homeless.
Yeah.
Punk rock, runaways.
we were talking about just before, Eric. You were bringing up like different styles of music. You guys all being into the, different kinds of stuff. I heard that when you were coming up in LA, that you were staying with Anderson .Paak, or you were friendly with Anderson .Paak. How did that
We
work
lived
out?
in like the same.
They were in rehab together.
Yeah, we were. Wish be a much better story. I paid $500 to live in an apartment and sleep on a couch, so he was in. We all went to the same like kind of engineering school together, and he was like trying to get like his acoustic like. It was more of like a soulful kind of Jason Mraz thing, and he's an insane drummer. He's like a gospel chops drummer, and just crazy talented musician. But he was working out of the same apartment that we were all staying out of and living out of. It was like a commune, and they had their little production crew that they were doing and the band, and yeah, he's gonna kill me. But you can go online and if you type in Cold Tapes
Oh yeah,
and put in Breezy Lovejoy, he's gonna
you got some
kill
good
me.
stuff.
And then you'll hear like a Coldplay album that they did that is just like all covered.
Oh damn,
It probably has like 1,000 streams. But
that's
yeah,
crazy.
Yep.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
How'd you guys figure out or find out, I should say, about the Lana cover? Did Lana like hit you guys up, or how's that work? Because that's doing well right now.
They hit him up.
I think it was put together from the record or the production company or whatever that was doing our documentary
Yeah.
of Sublime, and they did a great job.
There's a huge Sublime documentary coming out, by the
They
way.
did an awesome job. I
think in October.
Carlos, just help Eric out with the mic.
What's that?
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say, lend him your mic.
This was the mic. Yeah. Anyways.
Oh, so it's part of the documentary.
Yeah,
No.
like
It's
the
in
theme
tandem.
song too. I guess.
That's cool.
Like every hero needs one.
Yeah. Did you like what she did with it?
Huh?
Did you like what Lana did with it?
I love it.
She stayed pretty loyal to the
He
original.
played bass on it.
On the Lana version.
Yeah, me and Josh Freeze and the other dudes. Oh yeah. This harp player, 80-year-old woman that used to play with like the Wrecking Crew and stuff, that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that made it really beautiful because our version had the vibraphone, playing the melodical part. And it was a straight, harp she played it on.
Oh, that's dope.
And that was the highlight of that for me,
Yeah.
And then I was supposed to hang around and meet, what's her name?
Lana.
Lana, yeah. I don't listen to radio much. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You're on it though.
Yeah, but then HR was playing over in Hermosa.
From Bad Brains.
So
Yeah.
I had to book because I live in San Diego. And, I don't see shows very often.
That's crazy.
He's
I
got
know.
like a compound in like the mountains of San Diego.
Oh, it's
I don't know.
killer.
It's
actually,
beautiful. Or was it Oceanside?
It is a compound, like
it's insane.
Cool Ranch CBD.
40 acres.
Really?
5 houses.
Damn.
Waterfall.
Shoot guns
Dude, it's
and
so badass.
eat
That's where we go
avocados
do
up
all of our
trees.
like band practices.
Yeah, I've heard about it before, but
You remember?
All right, let's go over to Twitter really quick. We got some fan questions. At JHayes88 wants to know for Rome.
Jay Hayes.
What songs are your favorite to perform from before you joined the band?
Slow Ride, and probably like before I joined the band, I'm assuming. So yeah, like Slow Ride and Perfect World. Those are songs I used to like cover on my guitar.
That's awesome. Cool. Thanks, Jay Hayes.
Shout out Jay Hayes.
Let's get some fan questions in studio.
What's up?
There we go.
Hi. So this is sort of like a continuation of that question, I guess. What is you guys' favorite song to perform now that you guys are all together?
our favorite song?
Yeah.
Like Blackout?
Blackout.
Blackout, probably.
Our new songs.
Cool. Thank you.
I like Light On. I like playing that one.
What?
Them's fighting words.
No, we really like playing all the new stuff.
Yeah, the new stuff in general.
And it's not because I've been playing the old stuff for I don't know how many years. We just have some really good songs. You know, we've done a couple albums in between, and they were nothing like what we got now.
This is the good shit right here.
We've come to we come close together as friends and brothers, and that helps a lot when it comes to working together. You know?
What's up? Wait, grab the mic. Don't forget, Eric.
What?
The mic. We can't hear you unless you use the mic.
Oh, geez.
I know. We're gonna get you lavs next time. We're gonna get one of these clip. Yeah, exactly.
Man, I got one.
What
Oh.
just for fun? What's Sublime? You're saying you're like kind of tired sometimes of playing. You know, it's probably some of your biggest hits. What's
That's
like
a good question.
what's
Not at all.
What's a huge
I just like okay. Back when I was playing with Brad,
right?
we played our songs for a while, and then we started doing some Bad Brains songs. Well, I couldn't wait to play some Bad Brains songs, you know, because I loved the hell out of the Bad Brains.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that.
All right, right on. Let's get to our second question. It's gonna come from over here.
Hello.
Hello.
I was wondering if you guys have any plans to collaborate with other artists or musicians in the upcoming music that you guys are going to be making.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, she was asking if
Collabs.
Any collabs?
any other bands.
We'd love to.
Deftones.
Deftones.
Yeah.
We were talking with Chino about that a couple weeks ago.
Were you really?
He was at a show of ours in Sacramento or something.
Anybody or something?
Anybody.
But yeah.
Alive and dead?
Yeah.
Dead
sure.
too. Channel.
Alive or dead.
That's a tough one. Okay.
Microphone.
After
He don't like
Daddy's Child.
microphones.
Yeah.
He plays bass.
That's the guy that. That's the guy that wrote "Chariots of Fire" later on in his career from Greece. Anyways, do your homework, man.
How real is the
After
Deftones
his
thing?
child, the album's called 666,
That's super real because it was Chino's idea.
and it
second.
doesn't have to do with Satan.
No relation to that warp
Flavor.
bus. No relation to the warp
No,
bus.
he just really likes Satan.
How real is the Deftones thing?
Dude, it was his idea. He
So
was
Chino
like,
hit
we
you
should-
up.
No, Chino was at our show.
Oh, no
He was
shit.
backstage at our show and hanging out, and him and Eric were talking about old times and touring, Warped Tour and shit. And then
Wow.
he was like, "Dude, we should get in the studio." And I was like, "And make some music together," or like. And I was just super corporate me. I'm like, "Here's my phone. Just put your number in there, and we'll." He was like, "All right."
Dude, I was literally listening to Team Sleep last night. You know Chino's side deal?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, great record.
Dude,
yeah.
He's so fucking talented, man. And we're all huge like fans of him and his band. And
Oh,
everything,
yeah.
so.
I wore a Deftones tee on this show last week.
Good man.
Very professional, my attire.
Yeah,
on
and
this show.
he's not an asshole. He's a super fucking sweetheart. Super good guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Totally.
That's always good.
Do we have another question? We do not have another question. They're telling me we're out of time.
Okay.
Guys, this was a lot of fun.
Love you. It's going to be your most unique interview ever.
I think so. Is that a challenge to 311 who are coming up next?
Well, I wouldn't say that, but
All right. Next time, lobs for everybody, by the way. Next time you guys come
100%. Let's get it.
over there. All right, guys. Sublime with Rome. The record Blessings is out, and you can check out their tour dates online. They're part of the
love you guys.
tour
Thank
right
you.
now. See you guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.